This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on The South Today, a retired Dunedin couple are distraught after trees they planted in a picnic area have been removed. A sand art master spends several hours at Dunedin's St Clair Beach creating a large work of art. And the South Island Schools Chess Championships brought young enthusiasts of the game to Ashburton this week. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Holly Buchanan. A retired Dunedin couple say they're distraught after the picnic area they've spent years beautifying has been vandalised. The picnic spot at Shag Point has had trees removed which the couple planted and paid for with their pensions.
Lynette Bates's grandmother had a house near where the Hampton-Palmerston Road passes the northern end of Shag Point. She grew up at the beach there and has returned many times as an adult. Over the years, the site became overgrown with blackberry, so she and her husband John spent hours clearing the area and planting trees. But when she stopped into the spot for the first time this winter, she discovered 17 trees were gone.
I come out here, it was just soul destroying because we'd spent so many hours up here just volunteering and doing it all and trying to make it nice, and someone could just rip it out in one fell swoop. Was just a bit overwhelming, really.
She's convinced somebody must know where the trees are.
You don't take that many trees home and just plant them in the front yard with nobody noticing, so someone's either pinched them to sell on or they've got a big 10-acre block and they're filling it up, I'm not sure.
And she's not planning on funding another replant with her pension.
And I had saved up my money to buy the plants. It wasn't as if they were paid for by the council or anything, so I don't know if I feel like doing that again, but if someone had any spare natives, I'd certainly put them in.
A spokeswoman for the New Zealand Transport Agency, which owns the land, says the plants were not removed by them. In Shag Point, the South Today.
A quick-thinking Ashburton office worker has saved the day when he spotted flames underneath a station wagon in Burnett Street. He rushed across the road, grabbed the office fire extinguisher, checked it was right for the job and doused the flames with powder. Traffic was blocked as drivers stopped in the middle of the road to call the Ashburton Volunteer Fire Brigade, who checked the car was safe and washed the engine down. The car owner says he turned on the ignition and realised something was very wrong. No one was hurt in the incident. And artist Tony Gillies has chosen St Clair Beach in Dunedin for his latest creation. The former signwriter, best known for his Koru series, began crafting his newest work in the sand earlier this afternoon.
It's not the most conventional canvas, but artist Tony Gillies reckons St Clair Beach is as good a place as any to create a work of art.
I did one a wee while ago and just decided I can do something epic, so Dunedin Beach is where I'm going to do it.
Gillies spent 20 years as a signwriter before turning his creative talents to painting. He's also made something of a name for himself as a beach artist.
Just to spread the messages that, you know, there's always something to smile about and just try and get some positivity out there. So I'm a colourful dude, want to make a bit of colour.
As for today's creation, he's not giving too much away.
I'm just going to write a big message and some koru designs. You've got to keep it pretty simple on a beach.
And to find out exactly what that message will be, you'll have to wait until later tonight to find out. In Dunedin, the South Today.
The Dunedin doctor accused of murdering teenager Amber Rose Rush has lost his bail appeal. 30-year-old Vinod Scantha is charged with murdering the 16-year-old who was found dead in her Corstorphine home in February. Scantha was a doctor at Dunedin Public Hospital at the time and was charged days later. He was denied electronically monitored bail by the High Court. A written judgment released today says the appeal against refusal of bail was dismissed. An order was made prohibiting publication of all other details in the judgment. The South Island Schools Chess Championships brought young enthusiasts of the game to Ashburton this week. 17 teams ranging from primary to secondary school age pupils converged on the mid-Canterbury town to face off.
Strategy, patience and skill. It doesn't matter if you're black or white, but one will rise and one will fall in the game of chess. South Island Schools Chess Championship organiser Ken Powell says teams have travelled to battle it out for chess supremacy.
Okay, at the tournament this year we have got teams from Dunedin and Christchurch, as well as the local Ashburton teams, and a team from Timaru. And we've got 5 primary school teams competing, 6 intermediates and 6 secondary schools.
Many of the young players compete with plenty of support on hand. Christchurch-based grandmother Christine Usher travelling down to meet her Dunedin-based grandson at the tournament in Ashburton.
But he's won one, other one, and he's drawn one or something, so yeah, he's very competitive, so whether it's cricket or soccer or chess, he likes to win.
Even though some of the competitors are very young, Powell says this is an official tournament sanctioned by the governing body.
This is the South Island Chess Championships. It's a New Zealand Chess Federation approved tournament to find out, of course, the best primary, intermediate and secondary school teams.
Dunedin players were victorious on the day, with Otago Boys High School winning their section of the one-day event. In Ashburton, the South Today.
And still to come on the South Today, we speak with a talented Queenstown balloon artist and the latest from the Winter Games at Snow Farm.
Step into Shop on Carol and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
Electrify NZ Dunedin sell quality European designed e-bikes with reliable componentry so that you too can wear the e-bike grin. Call in for your complimentary test ride today or book online. Find us at 249 Cumberland Street, phone 021 035 9820.
Spring is here and it's time to get in the garden. Ready Lawn will take care of your lawn needs, making lawn care a snap. They will install the perfect lawn while you plant your favourite flowers and vegetables. Call Ready Lawn today so you can enjoy the coming season.
Every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
When it's time to say goodbye to your pet, Heaven Sent Pet Cremations are here to help you through this difficult experience. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today for their care and guidance. Phone 489 2274.
Helping New Zealanders to do more. Talk to MTF today.
Roslyn Mowers and Heating are your local Massport heating agents and offer you a competitive quote on complete Massport fire installation. Come and see the Massport Cromwell Ultra Low Emission Burner in action. See you in store soon.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole Map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
The Green Island Medical Centre offers everything for your family's needs. Whether you are travelling or coming in to discuss health symptoms, our medical staff provide the best of care. We offer Manage My Health, making booking an appointment or requesting a repeat prescription a breeze. We welcome families like yours. Give us a call today, phone 03 488 2754.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. We have new items arriving every day. Visit us for a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
Welcome back. The Highlanders are set to play a pre-season game in Alexandra next year in a first for the town. The Highlanders will take on the Waratahs on the 1st of February, 2 weeks before the season starts. The franchise have arranged the match along with the Central Otago District Council and Breen Construction, and the match will be played at Molyneux Park. Artist Jim Sheard is bursting with pride, but luckily his art isn't. The Queenstown balloon artist has just returned from a trip to Australia to hone his skills to participate in one of the largest balloon art installations in recent years.
Queenstown balloon artist Jim Sheard, fresh from honing his skills on the Gold Coast. He was one of 25 international balloon artists and dozens of volunteers, helping to make an enchanted forest for a friend's wedding.
The idea started as having a small balloon garden at their wedding. It evolved, because they're heavyweights in the balloon industry, into about 110,000 balloons, give or take.
The forest included waterfalls, animals and trees made from over 100,000 balloons. It took 150 volunteers and 2 14-hour days of work to finish the job.
It was amazing. It was absolutely mind-boggling to be part of that. Every girl's fantasy wedding, and completely compostable.
Sheard began creating balloon art about 6 years ago. He can sometimes be found showing off his skills down at Queenstown's lakefront, easy to spot in his brightly coloured suit and top hat.
I can take people from having an absolutely miserable day and turn it into the best day they've had in memory.
A claim almost as bold as the suit. In Queenstown, the South Today.
The United States have dominated the cross-country skiing freestyle sprint at Snow Farm, part of the Winter Games. Under the sprint format, athletes raced the 1.6 kilometre course 4 times in the space of 2 hours in heats, semi-finals and finals. The familiar sound of the Star-Spangled Banner echoing around Wanaka's Snow Farm, with the United States dominating the cross-country skiing freestyle sprints at the Winter Games. Americans Kevin Bolger and Benjamin Saxton took gold and silver in the men's final in a race that came right down to the last straight.
First race of the year for me, so I just kind of approached it pretty open-minded. Good day to just kind of test some new tactics and try new strategies and attack every heat like I wanted to win it. And yeah, at the end of the day, came out on top and really satisfied.
US women filled the top 7 spots in their final, with Olympian Sophie Caldwell taking gold. Skiers have to complete the 1.6 kilometre course 4 times in the space of 2 hours across heats, semi-finals and finals.
It's kind of why we're out here training every day, so we can send it, for every race that we're in, we can just go 100%.
And with blue skies and light winds, conditions were at a pinnacle for the athletes.
Everything is just perfect right now. The trail was groomed perfectly. The weather was great. Couldn't ask for a better day, really. It was great.
The third and final cross-country ski event of the Winter Games, a 10 and 15 kilometre mass start, is scheduled for today at Snow Farm in Wanaka, the South Today.
And after the break on the South Today, part 2 of our special feature looking at the struggle for women's voting rights. And we take a look at what the weather's set to do tomorrow and over the weekend.
Roslyn Mowers and Heating are your local Massport heating agents and offer you a competitive quote on complete Massport fire installation. Come and see the Massport Cromwell Ultra Low Emission Burner in action. See you in store soon.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. We have new items arriving every day. Visit us for a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole Map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
The Green Island Medical Centre offers everything for your family's needs. Whether you are travelling or coming in to discuss health symptoms, our medical staff provide the best of care. We offer Manage My Health, making booking an appointment or requesting a repeat prescription a breeze. We welcome families like yours. Give us a call today. Phone 03 488 2754.
Active Interior Design in Mornington are the curtain and blind experts. The team can even advise you on outdoor products and will ensure that everything is perfect. For interior design with flair, call Active to book your free in-home consultation or call into the showroom in Mornington.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Every Kiwi deserves a reliable garage door. Rely on Garador to protect your important stuff. Just like Darren, his Garador keeps his favourite ride in mint condition. We have a huge range at affordable prices. Visit our website for a free consultation. We stand behind every door.
Motor Trade Finance proudly brings you Rural Delivery. A look at the places and faces behind New Zealand agriculture. Tuesday evenings 8:30, repeating Saturday morning at 8 and Sunday afternoons 4:30.
Welcome back. Last month marked 125 years since the main women's suffrage petition was tabled in Parliament. In the second of our two-part special feature, ODT health reporter Mike Houlihan looks back at a struggle for voting rights in which Otago was front and centre.
The building I'm sitting in now is the Oxford building on Moray Place. It's got Dog with Two Tails cafe down below. But back in the 1870s, this was known as the Temperance Hall by the people who lived in Dunedin. And by the 1890s, it was known as the Choral Hall. It was in this building on April the 28th, 1892, that the first meeting of the Women's Franchise League was held. We're guessing the stage is roughly round about where I'm sitting right now, where the likes of Marian Hatton and her colleagues would have been exhorting women to get out and try and secure the vote. The enthusiasm which could have produced such a gathering as that which overflowed the City Hall on the 12th of this month shows us that the day of discussion in favour of women's rights has gone by, and the only thing necessary now is to ensure immediate and final success is organisation. In establishing a league of this kind, I may say, as my individual opinion, that it might be Well, if we could form a constitution upon a purely unsectarian basis, for in this our final struggle for victory, we shall want all the help we can command, and all classes and conditions of women should be made available. Our doors should be wide enough to take in all favourable to our cause and willing to help us by sympathy, service or subscription.
60% of the eligible women in South Dunedin signed. I think it's just hard work to some extent, and they went to the outlying districts. Hatton went down to Gore, there was a huge meeting down there.
The first opportunity the Women's Franchise League had to flex its political muscles came in 1892 with the election of the new Dunedin mayor. This was a contest in which women ratepayers could vote, therefore women actually did have a stake in this. They had even more of a stake because one of the leading candidates was a man called Henry Fish, a former mayor, a former councillor and a former member of the House of Representatives. He had been a vocal opponent of women's rights and therefore made an ideal villain for the Women's Franchise League to tilt up against. It would be fair to say that it was a robust and fairly lively campaign in which the voice of the woman was absolutely crucial. It was a narrow win for Charles Haynes, and Mr Fish was not in the slightest bit impressed. He came here to City Hall on the evening of the announcement of the result of the vote and railed against the Women's Franchise League. He said, "My opponent owes his return to a combination of isms, a combination that would have voted for a lamppost. I say by a combination of isms that would have voted for that lamppost rather than myself. In saying that, I have no desire to say that my friend Mr Haynes resembles a lamppost. I only trust that when he has been more before you as a public man, he will be held in as much respect as I have been. There had never been in the whole course of my experience a system of such gross and scandalous persecution as I have been subjected to, and particularly do my remarks refer to 3 or 4 women in this town. I say the conduct of these women, Mesdames Hatton, Broad and Brodie, has been a disgrace to their sex, a positive disgrace to their sex. The lies, the slander that these women have uttered during this contest, you're going to have it very straight. The lies, the slander, the vile venom that these women have spat out during this election makes them a disgrace to their sex. They are not women, they are bad, bad men." Which was practically the end of Mr Fish's political career.
They did realise that they could dispose of Fish, and they did so, and he acknowledged that it was the women's vote that lost him the mayoralty. He held it for 6 terms, 6 one-year terms, so he was quite deeply established, and it's rather easy to underestimate him and treat him as a figure of fun, which his name doesn't help, but he had a tremendous following among working class men particularly and their families.
The Women's Franchise League met back here at the Coral Hall on August the 8th, 1893. They would have been in a state of nervous excitement. They knew that the electoral bill had passed through the House of Representatives, but it was up to its usual stumbling block, the Legislative Council. They knew the vote was going to be tight and they didn't know which way it was going to go. Again, the meeting was overflowing and the people were packed throughout. There would have been hundreds of people in this room hearing Marion Hatton thank them all for their efforts and their drive to be able to get the great petition through to Parliament. She said, "I thank every member of the League and the many outside of it who sacrificed time and comfort on our behalf. In one particular matter to which they put their hands through calumny and slander were their portion, devoted women whose lives were saintly, stood by them, prayed for them and worked with them, and good friends whose practical Christianity proved them men of whom the League might well be proud, went up with them and felt they might justly say that while the souls of good men had grown warmer in their cause, they had filled the hearts of bad men with fear and trembling." After the presentation of the petition to Parliament, Premier Richard Seddon put forward an electoral bill in his name which would enfranchise women. Seddon was actually opposed to women's suffrage and attempted to stymie the bill, but his tactics failed, and in September 1893 the bill became law. That November's election saw women vote for the first time in a parliamentary election, and ever since women have played a leading role in this country's political system.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. A retired Dunedin couple are distraught after trees at the picnic area they've been spent years beautifying have been removed. A sand art master spent several hours at Dunedin Sinclair Beach creating a large work in the sand featuring spiral and flowing designs. And the South Island Schools Chess Championships brought young enthusiasts of the game to Ashburton this week, with 17 primary to secondary school aged teams facing off. And now a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT.
Holly, how
Welcome.
are you? We have some more revelations tomorrow in the Marked by the Cross series.
Oh, yes.
Chris Morris has been looking into some historic, cases of abuse within the Catholic Church and schools. So yeah, look out for that tomorrow. There's some really interesting stuff coming on that. Now, for all those people that have sat squashed up in the departure lounge at the airport here, Momona, they might be really pleased to hear there's a $13 million expansion underway.
That's good news.
Yeah. Now, they're going to increase the size of it by 200%. So what's that? That's quadrupling it, I think. And that's after a 50% increase in passengers, which will be good because it's quite a squash when you go in there, past the security. That's an interesting story.
Yeah.
Where is Claire Curran? We're not quite sure. We've been trying to find her and talk a little bit more about what's happening and her future as a minister.
Yes.
So again, keep an eye out on that tomorrow. I'm not quite sure what we've got on that yet. Also a story about the record high prices of petrol, like $2.50 a litre, places like Wanaka.
Steep, isn't it? Right.
It is, and the government's promised it will do something when it can get the actual figures from the companies. So something that concerns a lot of people.
Yes,
price of petrol.
yes, exactly.
On the gardening page, we've got to think about vegetables that keep on giving. So it's things like rhubarb, asparagus, artichokes that just go year after year, and you don't have to, bother replanting them.
Sounds
It's
great.
a good use of space in your garden. So yeah,
Wonderful.
Okay.
Good mix there. Thanks
See you
very
then.
much. And time now for a look at tomorrow's weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Beginning with tonight's southern view of some beautiful spring blossom in central Dunedin. Looking at the situation, fine weather continues through the weekend as the ridge of high pressure remains strong over the South Island, bringing clear, cold nights and fine, pleasant days. Looking to the northwest of the South Island, Greymouth and Westport can expect clear skies and a high of 16. Across to the northeast now, Nelson and Blenheim are in for a bit of cloud, also a high of 16 degrees. Looking at Canterbury, clouds in Kaikoura and a high of 10. Christchurch, cloud for you and a high of 10 degrees, while Ashburton can expect a bit of cloud and a high of 11. Heading to the south now for some light wind and fine weather and highs of 9 to 11 degrees for Balclutha, the Catlins, Gore and Lumsden. And across to central Otago, light winds and fine weather for Alexandra, Queenstown, Wanaka and highs between 8 and 9 degrees. Te Anau you can expect to get to 11. In northern Otago, light winds and fine for Oamaru, Timaru, Omarama and Twizel with highs of 9 or 10 degrees. And in Dunedin, a bit of a cloudy one tonight with clear skies and an overnight low down to 5. Fine and sunny during the afternoon with a high of 9. Heading into the weekend, it'll be fine and sunny with light winds on Saturday with moderate nor'easters, again with a high of 9 degrees. And in Vikako, fine and cold tonight, also with an overnight low down to 0. Mostly fine and sunny tomorrow with 12 degrees and a low of 1, and a bit of light wind on Saturday with 13 degrees. And that's all from us tonight. For the latest news from the southern region, head online and follow us on Facebook, YouTube at channel39.co.nz and also at odt.co.nz. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again tomorrow. Good night.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.